Hello everyone, welcome back to Mama in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very simple and easy oven roasted turkey. So this is a perfect recipe for your Thanksgiving dinner or if you just feel like having turkey on a regular day. So over here I have my turkey, it's about 14.5 pounds and I bought it fresh, but if you're going to be buying yours frozen, you need to thaw it out in the fridge for at least 3 days depending how big it is. And then over here I have some poultry seasoning. I'm going to be using about 1 tablespoon of that. 1 teaspoon of paprika, about 4 tablespoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and then I'm gonna be using about 16 garlic cloves. I have the fresh peeled garlic over here. You can use the regular garlic if you like to peel your garlic, but I'm gonna make it easier today and just use the already peeled garlic. And then you're gonna need about 3 sticks of salted butter, some herbs. I have some fresh herbs here, some thyme, sage, and rosemary. So I'm going to be using a couple tablespoons of the rosemary and the thyme for my butter rub. And then I'm also going to be using these to stuff the turkey and put underneath the turkey. And then you're going to need some carrots, some celery, 1 lemon, a few onions, 2 to 3 onions, depending how big they are. This is just to put underneath the turkey. And then some extra virgin olive oil. And then you're also going to need a baster. If you don't have a baster, that's fine. You can just use a spoon or whatever you like just to baste the turkey. At the end, we're going to be basting it every 15 minutes. And now we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first step is to clean your turkey. You can clean it however you like. I usually use water and lemon. So first I'm going to be cleaning it with some water, and then I'm going to be rubbing the whole turkey with lemon, and then I'll be cleaning it with water again. And make sure you also clean the insides. And I'm also going to be taking out whatever's in there. They usually have like the heart or the neck. I'm going to be keeping the neck and I'm going to cook that too. Or you can use it for broth or you can discard it. Just do whatever you like with it. But make sure you clean the insides too. And then over here, you don't want to take off this plastic piece unless you're going to be using string to tie the legs. But that plastic piece, you can actually bake the turkey with it. That's what's going to be holding the legs. But if you want to use string instead to tie the legs, you can go ahead and take that plastic piece out too. All right, so I rinsed it with water, I cleaned it with lemon, I rinsed it with water again, and now I'm just gonna hold it from the plastic piece, drain it a little bit from the water that's inside, and I'm gonna put it in the strainer to drain for about 5 minutes. And after straining for 5 minutes, now I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece off. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you could actually keep it on, but I'm gonna go ahead and just take this piece off. And then after cutting that off, I have a pan that is lined with some paper towel. I'm gonna go ahead and dry the turkey. You wanna make sure you dry it as much as you can. So I'm gonna put this in a pan with a paper towel, and I'm gonna get some more paper towel and just dry it as much as I can from both the front and the back, and also from the inside. Okay, and after completely drying the turkey, now I went ahead and took the paper towel from underneath out, and I'm going to be adding some lemon slices in there. I'm going to be adding a few, and you can squeeze some in there. And then I'm going to be adding about 8 garlic cloves. I went ahead and cut them in half. You don't have to mince them, just throw them in there. And I'm also going to be adding some thyme, rosemary, and sage. So I'm going to be adding a few stems of each of those herbs. After adding the herbs, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle with about a tablespoon of olive oil. And then I'll also be adding about 1 tablespoon of salt. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle it in there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and make the butter rub. So in a bowl, I have 3 sticks of salted butter. And now I'm going to be adding about 4 garlic cloves that are minced, and then I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon of poultry seasoning and 1 teaspoon of paprika, and then we'll be adding the herbs, and I'll show you how I'm going to be doing the herbs. So I'm going to be taking them off the stems. I'm going to be adding about 1 tablespoon of chopped rosemary and 1 tablespoon of chopped thyme. I'm not going to be adding the sage into the butter. So just the rosemary and thyme, we're going to go ahead and take it off the stems and chop it up and add about a tablespoon of each. Okay, so I went ahead and chopped up my rosemary and thyme. I have a tablespoon of each in here, and I'm going to be adding that to the butter, and we're going to be mixing it in. And then I'm also going to be adding about 1 tablespoon of salt to this mixture as well. Alrighty, and after making the butter rub, now I'm going to go ahead and from the breast side, try to separate the skin from the meat. You don't want to puncture it, just try to separate it a little bit with your fingers, just so we can put the butter in there and it can get all inside. So now I'm going to take just a little bit of that butter and I'm going to be taking it inside and rubbing it all over from underneath the skin. So I'm going to be leaving some butter left over. So we're going to be using some of the butter for the inside, some of it to rub on the turkey from both sides, from the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to also be leaving some left over, a couple of tablespoons to put onto the turkey after it's halfway through cooking. So we're going to need to leave a couple tablespoons aside. So just keep that in mind. So now I'm going to go ahead and just rub some of the butter all over on the turkey like this. You want to make sure you get it everywhere as much as you can. And it's very important to dry the turkey, because if you don't dry it very well, it's going to be hard to rub this butter on. So on top of the turkey, I dried it well, but you'll see in a little bit that after I tried to rub it on the back, I didn't dry the back as well as I did the front. So the butter wasn't going on as smoothly. So that's why it's very important to make sure you dry your turkey very well with the paper towels. After rubbing the butter all over, now I'm going to go ahead and season with some salt, about a tablespoon of salt on the top, and I'm going to be flipping it over and seasoning with another tablespoon of salt. So 1 tablespoon on the top and 1 tablespoon on the bottom. Okay, so after seasoning with salt, now I'm going to go ahead and put it in the tray. So over here I have aluminum tray. This is a large aluminum tray, and I cut up 2 onions. I have some celery, some carrots. I also added about a few stems of each of the rosemary, thyme, and the sage. And then I also added 8 garlic cloves that I've cut in half, and I threw them in there, and then sprinkled with some olive oil. So I'm going to go ahead and put the turkey in. I'm putting it breast side down. So at first we're going to be cooking it with the breast side down, and it's going to be covered with aluminum foil. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck in the legs into this plastic piece. If you don't want to use this plastic piece, you can also use some twine or some thick string and just tie the legs so they could stay in place. So we have it breast side down, and now we're going to go ahead and tuck in the wings. So you're just going to tuck it in like this so they could stay in place. It's going to look funny right now, but once we flip the turkey over, it'll look how it's supposed to look. So we're going to tuck the wings like this so that they could stay in place. And I'm also going to add 1 cup of water on top of the vegetables before putting the aluminum pan. I forgot to show that part. So you're going to add a cup of water onto the vegetables before adding the aluminum foil. So we have the breast side down. We're covering it with aluminum foil, and we're going to bake this at 450 for 2 hours covered. Just don't touch it for 2 hours. Let it cook. And then after 2 hours, I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, so we went ahead and put the turkey on the lowest rack in the oven, and it's preheated at 450, breast side down with aluminum foil, and we're gonna let this cook for 2 hours. Okay, so it's been 2 hours, and now I'm gonna go ahead and take the aluminum foil off, and I'm gonna continue to cook this for 30 minutes on 450. Alrighty, and this is what it looks like after 30 minutes. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and flip the turkey over so the breast side is up. Okay, so I went ahead and flipped the turkey over, so now the breast side is up. So what I did was I put 2 wooden spoons in the openings and I flipped it over like that. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that butter that I saved, the 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna rub it over on the breast part. Okay, and after rubbing the butter onto the breast, now I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the oven. I'm gonna leave it uncovered, and I reduced the heat to 325, and I'm gonna bake this for an hour and a half. While that's baking at 325, every 30 minutes, you wanna go ahead and baste it. So you're gonna take the juices and just put it all over the turkey. Alrighty, so I went ahead and took my turkey out the oven. It was baking at 325 for an hour and a half, and then I broiled it for 10 minutes. You don't have to broil it if you don't want to, but it does give it a little bit nicer color, and it also makes it a little more crispy. So now I'm gonna go ahead and cover this and let it rest for about 15 minutes. Ready, now my turkey is ready to serve. So after it rested for 15 minutes, I went ahead and put it in my platter that I'm going to be serving it in. And what I did was I put some kale under there with some orange slices and cranberries just to make it look nicer. So this is ready to serve now. It looks great. Look how golden that is. And I'm going to go ahead and now make the gravy, and I'll be showing you how to make that. Alrighty, and now I'm gonna go ahead and make the turkey gravy. The gravy makes such a nice addition to the turkey. I mean, I don't think you should have turkey without the gravy, just saying. So now we have 1 stick of unsalted butter that I am melting, and I added 2 tablespoons of flour, and then I'm also gonna be adding 2 cups of the turkey broth. So I got the broth from the pan that we cooked the turkey in. So I'm gonna be using 2 cups of that, 1 stick of unsalted butter, and 2 tablespoons of flour, and just mix everything together very well until it thickens. And that is all there is to it for the gravy. Now my gravy is ready. So it's just 1 stick of unsalted butter, 2 cups of the turkey broth, and then about 2 tablespoons of flour, and just mix that in until it thickens like this. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut into my turkey so you can see what it looks like on the inside. So first I'm gonna slice it this way, and I'm gonna make nice thick slices. So I'm gonna slice it 3 times this way, and then I'll slice it down the middle so that it can come apart. Righty, and now the best part, I'm going to be topping off my turkey with some gravy, and this is ready to serve. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and please like, share, and subscribe.